What's going on over there, Steve, on the ground, literally? What's happening in your world of Portugal property investment with home miners?
Everything is going really good. Next week, we're hosting our live event. So we host live events every 2 months in Portugal where we invite people that are new to property, prospectively moving to Portugal or wanting to invest in Portugal, or even services related to the property sector in Portugal. We have a meetup every 2 months in different locations. So this time it's in Coimbra. Yeah, so there's that popping up on the 25th. I've been seeing a lot of movement within the municipalities as well too. I'm seeing places like Figueira da Foz are doing a lot of action in regards to providing homes for the locals. Cachoeira da Pera is providing or talking with people to provide better transport in and out of the area since it's a little bit secluded. I find a lot of the smaller villages in central Portugal are really starting to make a decision and saying, hey, this may cost us a little bit of money, but in the long run, it will benefit the village in the future. So there's the mindset change of people wanting to maybe not, I don't want to say better themselves, but they're trying to look to a more positive outlook of life. And this, I guess this kind of ties into what you guys are talking about with the United States and, everyone is, oh, what happens if US does this, or what happens if Trump gets elected? I really think that we're in a day and age where we've kind of forgotten about what we want, and we're trying to push our opinions onto other people. And I don't think that's right. It's, over the last, I think it's been more prevalent in the last 10 years. But I remember growing up, if someone said they didn't like me, I'd say, all right. They get one finger and I'd go the other way, and that was it.
You know what? That doesn't sound very Canadian to me, but maybe that's underlying the exterior. That's how it works over there.
Well, it's just it's not even that. It's just about how if someone doesn't like me, I don't have to like them, or I don't have to force myself onto them. They don't have to like my opinions. This is what makes us humans, is individuality. Ericeira is a beautiful place. Have I been there before? No. Am I going to say it's God's given part of Earth? No, I haven't been there. I can't form an opinion about it.
Give it time, yeah.
I find a lot of people are forming opinions about things that they don't really know about, and we see this within the Portuguese groups as well too on Facebook, where people are giving opinions about places that, or even countries they don't even live in. Or investment opportunities that they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's really down to what you want to accomplish. And that's kind of something that I love about your platform, is that you give each day is a different, it's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Thanksgiving.
No. Multiple personality syndrome.
Oh, it's schizophrenia.
No, schizophrenia is the one where you think about something. I forget what the other one is. But
I should
being
know
on your
it,
show
I'm
is
a
like
little out of practice.
Being on this show allows you to have multiple visions or multiple ways of seeing things. If you could put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand what they're seeing, this is why we've all come to Portugal, or this is why we're investing into Portugal, or this is why we come and listen to your show, is because each person has a different story to tell.
Yeah. That's right. And you don't have to agree, do you? It's like, well, okay, I absolutely do not agree with that, but like, live and let live. And you make a really interesting point, Steve, because the world was probably always like this, but the social media phenomenon has amplified, hasn't it? All the noise. So I think the world was always noisy. It's noisy inside our heads, isn't it? It's noisy outside when we talk to each other. And then we add social media to our communal lives, and it just amplifies all of that noise. And maybe we're going through a phase at the moment, because it's like a toddler or a child or a teenager, isn't it? Social media at the moment. It's quite young, and we're learning how to use it. And we haven't learned that bit yet, where we have to comment and get angry about everything we see. I mean, some people just haven't got the hang of that yet, have they? And all it takes is for a couple of those types of people who are having a bad day or whatever to inflame themselves and throw that out there for the whole, the feeling of the whole thing to have, capsized or set everybody else off on a bad foot for the day. But it's a very interesting point, and yeah, I'm glad you observed that. We do our best to have a number of views represented, and yeah, take it or leave it, and just maybe take Steve's advice there. Maybe not the single finger thing, but I think he meant that.
Or maybe.
Or maybe, yes, if necessary.
That was my single finger.
I was thinking that, but I don't know what Carl's thinking.
When I rule the world, yes, this sort of thing won't be allowed.
You don't like me?
Yes. Right, we've got a response, actually, as a person. Well, let's say good morning to Hansel Forbes. I think he's coming from your community there, Hansel.
Yes, morning, Hansel.
Morning to you, Hansel. And PD Country Bear Marcus, as a person leaping to this idea that Castanheira de Pera is the Beverly Hills, as a person who lives close to Castanheira de Pera, I must respectfully, very well done, Marcus, call shenanigans on the idea that it is like Beverly Hills. It's a beautiful area, but let's not get all crazy about that. We are in Figueiro dos Vinhos, where Paul has that fabulous place, and we happily serve as ambassadors to Central Portugal. There is plenty of space here for everyone to come visit. What a lovely invitation. Talking of chopping wood and carry water, today I got wood to chop today, but it's raining, so staying below.
It's a carrying water day.
Very good. Carry water, Jackie. Got to watch what you say on social media these days. Or a prison sentence. Yeah, it is growing pains of a new technology, and it won't always be like that. We'll move on, won't we? We'll find something else to worry about soon. Okay, back to Coimbra, which happens to be our Portuguese point of interest. Let me just play a little snippet here. You've given the game away for me, Steve, and I'm not complaining. Just 17 seconds of snippets here. Oh, it's without music here, so I'll give a commentary. I don't know if you recognise Coimbra. That's the Fado experience, which is absolutely fabulous. That's me DJing to an empty room, but I still gave it my all. That's the Zero Hotel. I don't know if you've been in there. Bobby O'Reilly, we're on the train. And that's me playing to an imaginary crowd there. Coimbra's amazing, Steve. Did you choose it because it's central or for its intrinsic?
I'm choosing it for a few reasons. One, it's one location where I find that people can go to, and it's literally in my opinion, the central part of Portugal. It's halfway in between Lisbon. It's halfway in between Porto, and there's direct train access from either of the cities to get there. You can get there in roughly, I think right now it takes about 2.5 hours or 3 hours to go from either Lisbon or from Porto. The cost of living is low. It's a young city. It's a growing city. It's a beautiful city. It has a lot to offer. And even the hotel that we're actually hosting the event from overlooks the city of Coimbra. So it's a great destination.
It's a university city.
It's
important
fantastic
too.
Yeah, Coimbra's amazing. So we'll be featuring it all week. If you've got any nice photos, videos, or something you want to share about Coimbra, please do. And if you're going to Steve's event, it is well worth going for more than the day if you can possibly manage that. If you are flying in from somewhere else in the world, which I think people do for your events, Steve,
yes,
you could easily have a lovely long weekend in Coimbra. There's lots to do there. You'll have a great time at Steve's event. And you'll also be able to have a look around the educational capital, I guess you could say, the academic capital of Portugal. There's the QR code for Steve's event there. And if you want me to forward these to you, I can do that. Yeah. Why attend? That's a pretty good question there. Talk us through that, Steve. And I know you've got an emphasis on people working together. Even if we don't have to agree with each other in terms of our opinions, but there's no harm in us working together despite that, right?
Exactly. So I try and bring people from all different parts of the real estate community, I guess, or people wanting to get involved in the real estate community. And I really urge people that if you're under the age of 35 to try and take advantage of this new incentive that's coming in where they're giving 100% mortgages. Okay. So even if you don't have the money, you can work with someone that says, let's say, for example, you're looking to buy an investment to buy, fix, and sell. Okay. If you can obtain a 100% mortgage and someone has maybe 20 or 30,000 euros to invest, I can almost guarantee that if you guys work together, yes, you'll take a little bit less profit, but you'll both come out of it in a positive manner. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's really about building that relationship.
and that's what you're doing, because how would let's say a Portuguese couple under the age of 35 who have this incredible option available to them now, that and all the other things you said this morning about how things are coming along in central Portugal and how the municipalities are rising to the occasion. I honestly didn't think I would see that happening so quickly. I'm so delighted to hear of this lovely occurrence of the local councillors and local government people getting involved in this and seeing the potential. It's really wonderful to see that. But how would a young couple find people with money to invest, because that's also a new thing, isn't it? And you might be talking about foreign investors talking to a couple who live in Portugal who've got access to this. That's the sort of relationship you're able to broker, is it?
I'm not going to say I broker relationships like this, but what I can do is help people create that path. So I always recommend that people get legal advice before they go forward with any of these options. So for example, I know that it's easier in Portugal to just open up an LDA together. This way it provides security for both parties. You have equal shares inside of the business. Okay. Then once this is completed, then you can start to look at assets. But really, it's all about building the relationships with the people that you want to work with. People work with me because they understand that I produce results in Portugal, or that I'm helping people provide accommodations that matter. Not just, yes, we do provide luxury properties that are priced at a higher income scale, but we also produce houses that are, yes, they're apartments, or we will split houses into 2 or 3 units. But what we're trying to do is create a I guess like a place for people to come to where they can live and they can own an asset, because over time, especially as Portugal continues to grow, you'll start to see the growth. If you hang on to a property for 5 years, the annual growth rate in Portugal, I believe, is at 4 or 5% annually. So take the price of your home and it'll grow. This is how much income you're earning over time. And people don't think about that long-term aspect of things when they're purchasing a property. They just think of, oh, it's somewhere where I can live. Well, why not buy somewhere where you can move into, or maybe rent out and hang on to that property for 7 to 10 years, and it grows over time. It appreciates over time. People don't think about that appreciation rate that happens over time.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think, to be fair to the Portuguese culture, it is a longer term thinking culture, isn't it? And we have that on our side here. And what a lovely thing that these 100% mortgages are available. That's a really great thing. Credit where it's due that the new administration has brought onto the table there. We'll come back to the God's tip of the day. Coach Turner is in and has answered Douglas's, Dougie's in Italy at the moment. And he's asking if the walk to the croissant shop counts in terms of your physical fitness. I think the answer is, well, kind of. Coimbra says, Marcus, great healthcare system on the main train line, lots of cultural events, good infrastructure, 30 minutes from the beach. 30 minutes from, and only a few minutes from a river beach as well. It has its own river beaches, doesn't it, as you go inland as well as you head towards the beach.
There's multiple river beaches.
Yes, it's really beautiful. Penacova as well. Minutes from the mountains, riverfront park areas. How is that riverside development coming on, Steve? And is that railway going to happen anytime soon?
I believe they're starting they've started the construction for the railway. They're starting in Vila Nova de Gaia, and then they're going down towards Sur. And then they go from Sur to, I believe it was Leiria. Then after Leiria, they go down to Lisbon.
That's going to be. I see. Okay, yeah, all right. But you've got the kind of valley railway, haven't you, coming in from Miranda de Córdoba that Filomena remembers that it was taken away, and now it's coming back again. That's going to be so important, I think, to local infrastructure, local life there, and I think it will attract people to the area when that reopens finally.
I agree. So we're starting to see it now. So I was talking about the train line that is going direct from Porto to Lisbon. They're building a train line that's coming in where you can go from Porto to Lisbon in about an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes, cutting time in half pretty much. Wow. Then they're building a new train system because Coimbra is expanding. They're building a train system that goes from Coimbra city center to Lausa, Miranda de Corvo, Serpinge, and I believe that there were a few other places that it has stops going into. So I know, for example, in Serpinge, there's a big factory for, I'm not too sure what kind of electronic items, but it's a electronic item factory or repair site or something like that. Huge building, and people come in from all over Portugal to work in this area. So now they're providing the train system that comes in there. It's going to be easier for people to come in and out for work. It's going to bring up the price of property in the area. Rental demand is already through the roof. It's almost impossible to find a rental. A lot of people don't realize that. It kind of seems strange because it's in the middle of nowhere. But rental demand in central Portugal is through the roof. It's pretty much almost impossible to find a property under 650 or 700 euros a month.
Wow. Wow, incredible. I'm still getting this criticism online, and it happened again at the weekend. It's almost like a cut and paste. Foreign real investment is making it impossible for Portuguese people to buy and rent homes, Steve. I often reply with these homes are being sold to the foreigners by Portuguese people. I know you've got a pretty robust view on that. This tide is going to rise anyway, right? And the Portuguese people might as well be involved anyway.
Yeah, I try and involve, I mean, most of my team is Portuguese. I try and make that a mission for my business and my company so that we work with Portuguese people to not only show them how to invest in property for the short term, but also the long term. Because again, I will preach this in and out. It's better to work together than to work apart. It's easier to work together. Okay. So for example, we've had people, you know, they're asking too much for their home, or they want to sell a home to a foreigner because they think that they're going to get more for it than what they would sell to it for a Portuguese person. This is a common issue in Portugal, and I get it a lot that we're providing unaffordable properties for Portuguese people, but my investors are Portuguese, the building teams are Portuguese. We're dealing with the Portuguese municipality, and the homes that we are providing, we're splitting large homes that have been empty for 7, 10, or even plus years, splitting them into 2 units to provide accommodations for Portuguese people. So to say that foreigners, which only take up 10% of the actual population of people that are purchasing property in Portugal, are causing the issue, I can understand in places like maybe Lisbon, Porto, and parts of the Algarve because of the tourism. But outside of that, in central Portugal, it's a 10% population of foreigners that are coming in there and purchasing property.
Yeah, thanks for addressing that, and thanks for making it part of your business mission as well. I think that you don't have to do that, do you? But I'm delighted to hear that you make that a part of your business mission there. I saw the other day Ray Kroc. He's the founder of McDonald's, isn't he? One of his quotes: "None of us is better than all of us," which I think is what you're suggesting there in terms of teamwork making the dream work. Just a reminder then before we go to the God Squad tip of the day and find out if James has been to Coimbra, actually. Elevate your real estate game, 25th of October at 6. I do urge people, if they're going along to this, to find out more about what you're talking about, Steve, it's to spend a longer time in Coimbra. It's an absolutely brilliant city. You will not be disappointed. And I would say, I'm not going to refund your tickets or anything like that. I'm not going to give a money back guarantee. However, I'm pretty confident that if you fly to Portugal to come and hear Steve and that lineup of speakers and find out more about the investment opportunities here, you'll have a fabulous time in the city as well. Have you spent much time there, James?
It's funny. As soon as you said that, I went to the language. It's like, see, this is where I'm still confused. I got to get this down. Or para. Or para.
What?
I've been through, but haven't ever stopped and stayed. So that's where the distinction in the language, like it's one of those, but I couldn't remember which. So
yes, so you've been through it, but not.
I've been on that train that goes through Coimbra and stop and look around and go.
Which is magnificent. So you've gone into Coimbra B. That's a curious thing. The main line, there's a mainline station, which is, I believe, Coimbra A. And then, or is it's the other way around? But there's only 2 options. But there's the mainline one that Steve's talking about, which unites the Porto and Lisbon, and more of the country actually on the Alpha Pendula line, on the intercity line. And there's a little branch line that takes you into the city, which is delightful. It's like a little model railway that chugs into the city there. And whichever way you come in on the train, it is lovely because you tend to cross the Mondego River and see that magnificent view of the academic skyline there and a view down the river towards the interior. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's just going to get better and better as the riverside develops more and more. And as you walk across that bridge, it feels like you could be in any magnificent European city, right? It's just a lovely feeling walking across the river from one side to the other there. So definitely urge you to visit Coimbra and extend your stay if you're coming along to Steve's event there. Anything else you want to say, Steve, before we get into the God Squad tip of the day about your event or what you're up to?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if you guys want to find out any more information about what it is I do or about the event that we're hosting in Coimbra, we always post our events on the website. You can see it in the bottom corner there. I'm not too sure if my fingers are pointing there, but
Other side, Steve.
Oh, there we go. On this side. If you go to my website, right on the front page, on the home page, you can see the link to go to the event. It's €12 for a ticket. I believe tomorrow is the last day for the 2-for-1 purchase. So you could get 2 tickets for the price of 1. It's a deal. Everyone likes deals. And then if you want to learn more about what it is we do, so on the investment side of things, you can take a look at the Investor Hub, where we actually post investment opportunities that we have found for investors, but they didn't exactly take on, or investment opportunities that have been put to us that we have checked that make sense.
Oh, very good. Okay, all at homeminers.net. Right, Coach Turner was